Like every other perfectly normal human, I go to bed every night thinking about what it would look like if Slay the Spire and FTL had a baby. Well folks, I'm happy to say that I no longer have to have this perfectly normal human thought because Breachway is here, a brand new sci-fi roguelike deck builder. If you don't know what all those words mean, don't worry, I got you covered. In this video, we're going to go over everything the Breachway has to offer. I'm going to give you a total gameplay overview, and we're going to check this game out through and through. Folks, we're dropping in hot with a brand new run. That's right, Breachway is run-based, and the first thing you need to do is select your spaceship. Which ship you select is going to dramatically influence how you play the game. You can almost think of these ships as different starting decks or as even classes. Each ship has its own crew, has its own weapons, has its own different unique quirks and elements. We'll get into some of that stuff in a little bit. Right now, I'm just going to take on this starting ship so I can show you the general flow of the game. So right now, we're off on our mission to chase the mysterious signal. I'm not going to do any story spoilers in here, don't worry. But basically, you start on one end of sector space, and you want to get to the other end. You want to exit this sector and keep chasing the signal. How you get there is up to you. And of course, this little solar system, galaxy, whatever you call it, is going to be filled with all sorts of random events and situations. Now, over here on the right, you need to pay attention to your faction standing because basically the more pips here you have with each faction, the more they like you. And if they really like you, they can offer you support and all sorts of goodies. But then if they don't like you, like the Solari here, then you'll be fighting them a lot. They might not let you dock at their space stations. You might get into all sorts of trouble with them. It all influences how the map and the run plays out. Over here is basically where you're seeing everything about your crew and your ship, but we're going to talk about that in just a second. First, let's just jump right into the combat because this is the meat of the game, and I think everything else will make more sense once we understand this. So, we got our hand over here, and essentially what we're trying to do is play cards to take out the opponent's HP, which is over here with this little cube. But of course, there's more to it than that. One thing that we want to look at on our ship is our reactor core here. So our reactor is generating these three different resources. We've got ordnance, we've got energy, and we've got mass. And those are basically the resources that our cards use to be played. So if we want to play this laser attack, we need 3 ordnance and we need 3 energy. And you can see here with the white numbers, that's how much you're going to generate every single turn for that resource. So right now, if we didn't do anything, if we didn't play any of these cards and we just hit end turn, this would become 8, this would become 6, this would become 4. Yay, I can do basic math. So now we kind of have to think about, do we want to start attacking or do we want to like shield up or how do we want to manage these resources? Well, one of the things we should be asking ourselves is, what is the enemy going to do? And the way that we can find that out is by looking at them up here. So they have this beam sweep and this barrier they're planning to do. So they're basically planning to attack us and they're planning to put up a shield. But you can see there's these little pips under those cards. And only once those pips are full will the enemy actually attack. So right now, we know on the next turn, they're not going to do anything to us. So what I'm going to do is actually not attack them because you can see here, this thing has 10 HP and this thing has 10 HP. These are different parts of the ship. So because we have precision cards, these are cards that can target individual areas of a ship. And if we were to play this right now, we could say like, hey, I want to target the shields, for example. But I don't have enough to take any of this out right now, right? So this would take this would take 10. And this would cost 6. I only have 5 of the resource, so first of all I need more resource, and then my 6 damage, and then plus 1 from this bonus would be 7, so that's not enough. So what I'm going to do is discard 2 cards from my hand by right-clicking, in the hopes of drawing more combat cards. Now, one thing to note is when you discard or play cards, they don't go to a graveyard, they don't just like burst into flames, they get recycled. So you can see there's that little timer icon. It says 4 for this one, 3 for this one. So that's how many turns it's going to take for them to come back into the deck to make them drawable again. So I'm going to end turn here and hopefully we draw more combat cards. Great. Perfect. Nailed it. So now what we're going to do is, well, actually, we're not going to do anything just yet because as you can see here, we only have 8 of this, but we need 9 if we want to play all 3 of our combat cards. But our enemy is about to attack us, so we're going to need to pop a shield. And now we have 6 shield points. So when the enemy attacks, our shield is going to take that instead of our HP. So right now, we don't really need mass so much. So I can actually right click to divert my reactor resources. And I basically take -1 on that. And I do +1 on ordnance. I really like having more ordnance. Now, what we're going to do here is basically concentrate our attack to disable the barrier or the laser that the opponent's going to be doing. Also, one thing to keep in mind, when you are adjusting your resources on the fly like this, you accrue a heat cost down here. And you accrue 1 for every change. So 3 is the maximum amount of heat you can have on this ship. So if you go past 3, you're going to overheat and you're just going to take more damage, and it's not a good time for you. Over here, it's telling you that you're going to lose heat, basically 1 per turn, which is handy. So right now, we don't have enough resources to play all 3 of our attack cards because we didn't really plan this properly. I'm just showing you the different mechanics. So we're going to hit end turn, and the enemy's going to attack us. It's okay. Our shield takes all of that, so no problem. Now, notice we didn't draw anything. That's because all of our cards were on a cooldown still. So what we're going to do here is we're going to blow our load, basically. And we're going to do this card, and we're going to target the enemy's... Well, we can target the enemy's weapon. And then we can do that again. And we can do that again, and it will take it out. Now, you might have noticed 9, but that was 10. That's because one of the cards there had a +1. So we've taken out their attack for 3 turns. We've dealt a bunch of damage to them. They're down to 11 HP. And at this point, we can, you know, we don't need like 3 green resources. We can do, or we don't need +2, I should say. We can do some more blue. We can do end turn. Enemies popping their shields. Now, the thing is, their shields are at 6, but on the next turn, they will automatically half themselves. So shields every other turn, or not every other turn, every turn half themselves. You should keep that in mind. We know the enemy can't attack right now, so we're just going to do end turn. It's all good. We got some more barriers. We don't really need these barriers at all. Let's just keep this stuff open for when our attack cards come back, which will be soon. So we'll do end turn again. And now you can see the enemy has repaired himself, so they're able to attack us again. And they still have 2 shield, which is kind of annoying, but it's okay. So what we're going to do is attack. This time we'll focus on, it doesn't really matter what we'll focus on here, but we can focus on their attack module again. So now they're down to 9, but we can only do a little bit more damage, so we're not going to... Wait, I didn't do the math there. Oh my god, I was so busy trying to show the game that I wasn't paying attention to the math. Well, folks, even in an unoptimized combat scenario like that, you can still win. I mean, that was just the very first battle. So we collected some money, and now we got also a card choice. Sometimes it'll be cards, sometimes it'll be loot, sometimes it'll be weapons, sometimes it'll be nothing or something else. And from here on, let's see what we got. So we got Quick Pulse. Quick Pulse is like a basic attack card. Why not? Let's add it to our deck. So we've added that to our pool of attacking cards. And from here on out, we're basically exploring the galaxy, and there's going to be a bit of a story event that happens here at this gateway. I'm going to skip through all the dialogue just in case you guys don't want to see that. And let's actually talk about this stuff right now. Actually, you know what? I lied. Let's do the story event first, and then we'll talk about that stuff. So there's some things happening and stuff. You can, you know, right click to skip all of it. But essentially, they want us to visit 4 waypoint nodes as an objective, and they'll give us money for doing that. They'll also give us some new weapons. So what do we got here? We got flak and we got flak. I was kind of hoping we would get missiles, but that's okay. We're going to equip some flak weapons. We're going to install them, and let's look at our ship here. So you can see here now, we've got flak, which gives us new types of cards, and flak cards actually work different than the lasers we talked about. So we'll cover that in a second, but let's see. Do we have enough money to upgrade anything? I wanted to get a bigger reactor upgrade here, but we don't have enough for that. So while we're here, let's talk about what we got here. So we got weapons, which go into these slots in utility, and this indicates which cards you can play, with what goes in your deck basically. And then here you have little characters, so little crewmates. This guy, for example, Ivan, he can do more combat damage if we activate him during combat. Rin here can give us shield points. She can give us more resources as well. We got Lena here who can give us more resources as well. So you're going to be finding different crewmates as you play the game. You're going to be finding different weapons, slotting them in. In between games, you're going to be potentially unlocking new perks to add up here. So right now we have every 6 attack can or does return our card to the draw pile instead of the cooldown. So we should be paying attention to that. And then here we have upgrades for our reactors. So what we can do is actually upgrade how many resources we generate per turn and what their maximums are. And then up here, we've got our health, we've got our morale, which is the system used to activate the effects of your crew. We got our currency, and we got our fuel, which is what we use to go on side quests. So we're gonna go over here in just a second, but if you notice, these are kind of blue or gray lines, but there's also these yellow ones. So these yellow ones, think of them as side quests. These are the non-optimal or non-mandatory routes. So if you want to go here and then go here, this yellow line is going to cost you 1 fuel. So you have to be strategic about when you're going to be basically taking on side quests. There could be all sorts of missions or loot or situations happening on these side paths, but you always have to be careful. For now, we're just going to move on to this conflict zone, but it's an allied conflict zone. So basically, our allies here are being attacked and they're asking for assistance. Now, if we ignore them, there's a chance that our faction relations are going to go down. They might hate us a little bit, or we can join them in attack and see what happens. Maybe we'll get something out of it. So you know how it is. Of course, I'm going to pick the attack option. Like, come on. This is the second combat encounter. How bad could it be? Watch us get absolutely blitzed and destroyed. All right, so we have our opponent here now, and it's another kind of small fight. They have flak weapons. We have some flak weapons as well. So these weapons that I was showing you before, they're precision weapons, they're laser weapons. You can target individual ship parts. Flak weapons, they don't target individual ship parts, but they can roll a dice basically. And on this one, you can see it says deal 3 to 8 damage, shredding 4. So if you roll the dice and you deal 4 damage minimum, then you will deal a status of shred on the opponent, and then your other flak attacks can be stronger. So with flak, you really kind of want to snowball into them. You want to send out a lot of flak attacks in quick succession. That doesn't really work for us because we only have 2 flak cards. So I'm just gonna get rid of these right now. Maybe I won't get rid of them. Maybe I'll keep them. What do we got in our here? We got barriers. Yeah, let's get rid of them. We don't need them right now. We're just gonna chill for a turn. We don't necessarily need to fight too hard. We can take off some of the mass income, put it in ordnance. We're gonna end the turn. Enemy's not doing anything just yet. Just a shield basically. I guess that is something. But now we have 3 attack cards that we like. We know the opponent is going to be attacking between 5 to 12 damage, which is not hot. We only have 1 barrier, but it is what it is. We're gonna sit this one out like so, and we're gonna let the opponent attack. It didn't do any hull damage to us, so that's the risk that you run into with the flak cards. They're, you never know how much damage you're gonna quite get with them. So did they apply a shield again? Because I wasn't paying attention. It looks like they did. Gosh damn it. But whatever. We're going to do this so that we can generate the green resource for spending the ordnance resource. We're going to do this because it's going to give us +1 damage on the next attack. And we're going to target, let's see, we're going to target the shield. So you can see here they still have 2 shield points. You can do quick pulse, which will do -1 cooldown for the next attack card, which is handy. And now we can do pop it up. And we've disabled their shield thingy for 3 turns, but then also our cards are on cooldown. So this is a super not optimized way of playing, as you can see, but I just want to make sure you're checking out all the mechanics. Now, we do have enough for this stuff here. It's super not optimized, but you know what? We'll do some flak. This card has the chance of maybe applying shred, or it does definitely apply shred when there isn't any shred on the opponent. And then this one costs a little bit less because of that. So we got them down to 3 HP. We're gonna get some cards back pretty soon. We'll be able to attack and end this match. So Again, not really like optimized combat or anything like that, but I just wanted to show you how it all looks like. So that's it. That's another battle fought, another battle won. I think, yeah, we took no damage, which is great. But I didn't get a chance to show you all of the crewmate powers. So let's check that. Let's check that out in just a sec. But first, I'm going to upgrade the reactor power here. So now you see these slots here. We can slot in more reactor power so we can start generating more of that resource. So ordnance, I like that. I'm going to generate more ordnance per turn. You can see now we're maxed out on the cap here, but we can raise the cap if we upgrade over here so that then we can have the ability to have more ordnance, more than 4. Also, I can take this off and I can apply it here or anywhere else that I want, but I like this number for ordnance right now for where we are in our run. Okay, so let's look back on the map. So waypoint, this was one of the things that the quests wanted us to check out. So we got visit 4 waypoint nodes over here. Let's see what happens. So incoming transmission, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to, I don't want to, in case somebody wants to focus on the dialogue in their playthrough, I don't want to spoil any of that. So we can accept a reward for something. Maybe I should have read it. Secure shipping lanes at the indicated location. Okay. Now I did see, yeah, it's over here. So trade security. So we have a waypoint. So we can do like 2 birds, 1 stone kind of thing. We can do waypoint over here, and then we can do trade security over here. So what's up with this waypoint? So system maps show disaffected repair station in this quadrant. So that's something new on the map that we discovered. Repair stations are useful. You get your ship back up and running if it's damaged. So let's check this out. Rendezvous point, civilian cargo, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, we're going to fight because we already talked about this. But because this is an ambush, we're going to start combat with an advantage. We're going to have +3 resources. And it's another small ship, not really too much to worry about. But you know what? I want to show you the command powers or crew powers. Command powers, where did I get that from? Am I thinking of Advance Wars? Crew powers here. So let's just try for the sake of it to deal as much damage as we possibly can. So this guy is going to let us overload cannons, right? So we're going to do more damage when we click him. So click. And you can see here our morale went down. This is the currency, the resources that we use for these special powers. We don't need shield right now, and gain 2 of each resource. So that will put us at 11. So you know what? Just to show it off, let's just click it. So now we have 11. We're going to play our Catalyst Pulse, and we're going to target, well, let's see what phase does. Discard an enemy tactical card, blah, 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 blah. Let's worry about their attack stuff first. How about that? So we're going to take out their missiles, which are, or torpedo in this case, but it's a missile type, which doesn't hit us the second that they launch. It takes a turn for a missile to hit because missiles travel slowly compared to lasers. Makes sense, right? So then we're going to hit them with a quick pulse, and we've disabled their attack thingy. And now we can move on to their other module. So like so. Pretty simple stuff, a basic combat encounter, but hopefully showing off what the game is like. It only gets insane from here. So they're down at 10 HP. They can't even do anything with their ship. We've got some cooldown on our cards, so we don't need to worry about our barriers and resources so much. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And we will attack on the next turn, hopefully. So we got 8 resources here. What I wasn't really paying attention to is all of the other resources here. We should have diverted, right? We should have diverted some of this into here. Or oh, you know what? Actually, what am I even saying? We can't divert it, right? Because we're at our +4 capacity. We need to upgrade that before we can divert it. So never mind. In a roundabout way, I knew what I was doing. So ship is still not able to attack, right? Because of the damage module. Can we do 10 damage to this ship right now? So this thing can do 3 to 8. This thing can set up shred damage. Let's just try it out. So we're trying to apply shred here. I mean, we are applying shred here. This then ends up costing a little bit less. It might take it out. If it does, no, it does 4. It does, yeah, it is what it is. But then we can do a quick pulse or a laser pulse. So 4 damage left, and that's the W for us. And that's the core loop of the game, right? Now we can add another card. We can get some more money. I'm gonna pick this card because it's basically gonna give you more ordnance. It's gonna give you more of a resource. But this is how the game expands, right? So now we completed this little quest, and now we have a little transmission here, so we get that reward that we were looking for. This is just a small sample of the crazy things that can happen in this game and the crazy enemies that you can run into. You'll eventually run into giant ships. You'll eventually see, you know, crazy upgrades, you know, across your own ship. So I'm gonna do a cut here where I'm gonna show you a bigger battle or something else a little bit different. All right, so let's jump into some elite combat here. I don't think we're really ready for it, but it'll be fun to check out. It's with our allies here, the free roamers. So let's see what the situation here is. So the captain, or their captain, is greeting us. We can thank them and proceed to pick up the fuel pod, or we can prepare for a surprise attack on the ship. But they're our friends. I don't know that we really need that fight right now. So actually, we're not getting into elite combat. We'll get there in a sec. First, we have this waypoint, which finishes off the quest that we had of checking out the 4 waypoints. So that gives us 150 credits. And now we can upgrade our reactor core again, or reactor power, I should say. So the question now is, do we want to upgrade before we go into, elite combat? Or do we want to save that money for potential repairs or for potential shop items that we get from an allied space station or another space station? I'm going to say let's upgrade. We can assign more energy here, and then we'll see how this elite combat goes. I have a feeling we're not ready for it at all. But oh wait, they're actually not even. We might not even have to fight if we provide the requested data. Well, let's fight, because I want to show you what that looks like. So here we're going to be fighting a much bigger ship. This isn't even like the biggest ship in the game or anything like that, but much bigger than the ones we've been fighting before. You can see they can take 3 different actions now. They have way more, way more hit points. So this fortify thing is going to be annoying because they're going to keep generating shields, and then this spin up thing might be annoying as well. We're going to want to go after the shields, but 15, gosh, that's a lot. Let's see what we can do here. So we do have our crewmates, and we do have a new card that we gained during the cut, which gains us a shield every time we play a laser or ion attack, and good for us because we have a lot of lasers. But we don't have a lot of firepower here. We're going to need the barrier for the next turn, but they're going to bring up their shields. So I think we're just going to take it. We're just going to generate some resources, feel the flow of things. We're not going to try to optimize too much, but we will take this hit, or rather we will shield from this hit. Can we do anything with their thing? 15, gosh, that's a lot. We can't really do that. We can't really damage it, but I'm going to play Quick Pulse first on it because we're not going to destroy it this round anyway, and then Catalyst Pulse, so that makes Catalyst Pulse respawn quicker. And we're gonna end it there. So we did a little bit of damage. We're protected from the enemy's damage. We got to watch out now for more damage coming from them. So let's see here. It's only 6, but then next turn they'll be able to do it again. So it's not great. So we'll play this permanent upgrade that we have, which will keep giving us shields for every time we play a laser. And you can see that's in effect there. And actually didn't think this through at all. We're not gonna play anything right now. We're gonna cancel this one, and we're gonna take the L. But you can see how immediately, as soon as you get into not one of the first combat encounters, there's a lot more to think about and a lot more to process. Like, for example, I wasn't paying attention to any of the shield stuff. And now we're in a situation where we don't have shields, and we're going to take a lot of damage. So this has been a showcase of how not to play this game. But what do we have here? So 4, 7, 10, 13. We have just enough to launch all of our attacks. So we're just going to do that at this point because, I mean, YOLO. We take down the shields. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. We're gonna take down their actual like shield module thingy. I keep calling it module. I don't think the game calls it that at any point. I think it's just whoa. I'm just coughing and dying here. I think I'm calling it that. So anyway, we're gonna do our shot thingy here, which we didn't really need to. It was kind of a waste, but I did just want to do as much damage to the enemy as possible here. But we are going to take quite a bit here ourselves, and we are at a lot of heat here as well, which is not good for us, which makes us more vulnerable. So what can we do from here? So they're not going to attack and they're not going to shield up. We have enough to attack here, so let's just risk it. Let's just go crazy. So we're going to do that, and we're going to get rid of this barrier too. This is not a smart play, but we're just going to YOLO. Oh. When YOLOing it doesn't work out. But you know what? It's okay. We'll do opening shot. We'll apply some shred, which reduces the cost for this card and makes it a little bit better. We'll do that. And then we'll do a quick pulse. Developers, if you're watching this right now, I swear to God, this is not how I play the game when I'm not showing it off. I actually read the cards and pay attention and think about my moves. I promise. So now we're just going to take a bunch of damage here. And our ship is down to super low health. Like, this is a this is a pitiful display. Almost as pitiful as my coughing. But we're going to play this. And now we have 9, which is enough to do all of this, and that should be it for this match. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that again, and we're good there. We're good. We survived. So we're gonna gain some money. We're gonna gain an accumulator. So let's see. Resource Bay, gain 3 random resources if you end your turn with a full card hand. That is a really useful upgrade to have. So we're gonna pick that up. And do we want to add a card really? I don't know, but let's see what we got here. We got, what's Surge? If unshielded, gain 4. Interesting. Otherwise, gain shield duration. Wow, that looks like a cool card. The other cards look cool as well, but looks like we need shields. We need a bit more shields. So, fortunately, our crewmate was able to repair us like a little bit, but that's still not a lot. But as you can see here, we have a repair station, which is neutral, so great for us. And we have an escape pod, which will contain a new crew member. Let's take a look at what we have here, though. We have the accumulator, right? So that's the thing that's going to be giving us more resources when we end turns with our full card hand. So we just slide it in like so. And now that's there like that, which is great. So we have hella money right now. Well, maybe not hella money, but good money. So let's just keep it for a second and let's go get a new crew member. So pick up the escape pod, open it in the cargo hold. It's this person. Yay. They're over here now. So their power is to add 1 star flare to your drop pile after every missile launch, blah, 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 blah. So they're basically like missile based. So maybe we can do some missile stuff with them if we were to pick up missile weapons. But for now, let's go get repaired over here. Yep. And we've repaired some of our hull points. But here's the thing. I wasn't paying attention, y'all. And we just ran out of fuel, and that's never happened to me. So we're gonna find out what happens when you run out of fuel. Can you literally? Oh, okay, you can still like move one more time. Okay, to get out of it. I was gonna say, can you literally not get out of it? Okay, we're gonna do a couple of fights. I'm gonna cut, and then I'm just gonna show you the shop, and then we'll call it. All right, folks, it's time to get into our first space station. But this one is from the green faction. Starkin, they don't like us, so let's see. Can we dock? What's going to happen? They don't like us. They reject our request. It can compromise, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. So these guys want a bribe. There isn't an option in this case for, you know, like flexing our guns at them or something. But fortunately, we do have the money. And from here, we can enter the shop. We can buy some fuel. We can do some crew activities, which is just like a fun way to basically up the morale for your crew, which if you remember, the morale is the resource that's used for their special powers. We can check out our equipment and maintenance, so we can basically remove cards, add cards, uninstall AI crew members so that we can get like real crew members in there if we have those. But let's enter the store so we can show it off here. Now, on the right side is the stuff we're buying. On the left side is just our stuff. I did pick up some salvage while we were, while I was cutting, I guess. But what we want down here is repairs. Oh god, please repair us. We're down at 28 HP in only the first sector. This is so embarrassing. But we can buy little weapons here. So for example, we can add rockets to our ship. We can add, you know, maybe more like hacky cards. We can add ion cannons. We can add kind of support cards here as well. Or we can buy those little upgrades for those individual modules that we slotted in here. Remember the accumulator from before? So what do we got here? We got thermal mass, which gives us more heat threshold. We've got missile rack, which, or lock, I should say, which helps us with missile stuff. Flak stuff, and then resource bay, hacking console, add 1 card slot at the start of combat. Add 1 card slot at the start. Wait, to our hand? Am I crazy? That sounds amazing if that's what it is. Wow, that's cool. So I'm gonna sell this salvaged. You can keep it if you want. It might be useful for some random events, but I'm just gonna sell it here so we can pump up our money some more. And all of this stuff sounds really cool. I can't make a decision. But folks, this has been Breachway. It's coming out on September 26th in early access on Steam. It's being made by Edgeflow Studio. I think they're out in Romania. So thank you to them for providing a code to me for this video. I'm having lots of fun with this game. I can't wait to play more of it. Maybe I'll do a full tutorial next, or a proper run through to show you what like an optimized kind of gameplay or run looks like. I hope you learned everything you need to know about Breachway from watching this, and I hope you like and hype the video, because apparently hype is a thing on YouTube now, or is going to be a thing on YouTube now. In any case, you no longer have to have normal human thoughts about the child of FTL and Slay the Spire. See you next time.